Shalom, welcome back to our study in the book of 1 Kings. We continue the Hebrew Literacy original mini graphic novel. Here we are in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, picking up where we left off with verse 41. Adonai Adonenu ken yireh ratzon ki lekachnu yihyeh tov b'einecha. Ta'azerna oti v'gam et kol talmidai Abba lilmod tov. All right. So let's have a look. Verse 41 says, Vayomer Eliyahu le'achav. So let's just break it apart like this. So here we have Yomer, he is saying, or he will say, Vayomer. Then he said, who's the he? Eliyahu. So here we have, there's Eliyahu over here. Le'achav. He said to Achav. Here's Achav. So the Lamed is to Achav, and here is Achav. So Vayomer Eliyahu. Then Eliyahu said to Achav. What did he say? Ra'alei echol u'shetei ki ta kol hamon hagashim. So we have a big construct chain here. Those last few words. Let's just mark that. Not exactly aqua, but I have limits in colors I can use with this tool. Kol, the sound of hamon. Hamon is like a tumult, or like a crowd, or a turmoil. It can mean a lot of those things. So it can be like the crowd itself, or the sound you associate with the crowd, right? A noise or a roar. Something like this. So think about hamon of Hagashim. So that's usually Hageshem. It just changed to Gashim because the Saluk. It's the last word there in the verse. Let's see. Can we erase this? Yeah, okay, good. Okay. So Kol Hamon Hagashim. Construct chain the Kol. Oh, actually, we'll come back in a sec. So La'alei. This is an imperative from the Ayin Lamed Hey. Go up. Echol. Eat. U'shetei. And drink. Ki for the kol, the sound of the hamon, a tumult of Hagashim, which is Hageshem, the rain. And so you can hear what they've almost forgotten, thunderous, maybe not thunder sound, but the sound of associated with rain in the far distance or something. Hearing it before they're seeing it. All right, let's read through that one more time. This time you try to translate before I do. First Kings chapter 18, verse 41. Vayomer Eliyahu. Then Eliyahu said to Achav. Alei, go up. Echol, eat. And shetei, drink. Ki, for the kol, the hamon hagashim. The sound of the tumult of the rain. Remember, when we have a construct chain, if that last word is construct, I mean definite, it causes the entire chain to be definite. Which means as long as it sounds right in English or whatever your language is you're translating into, you try to put the Try to put the definite article there. So that's how we're able to translate it. The kol, the sound of the hamon, of the tumult, or like a crowd, you could say, of the geshem, the rain. Kol hamon hagashim. Any comments or questions? It can also be the crashing of the sea, hamon, if you use it in that context, like hamon hayam. It'd be like the sound of the waves crashing, that kind of stuff, or perhaps hitting up against a cliff. All right, let's continue. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 42. Vaya alei achav lechol velishte. Pardon me, velishtot. Okay. Vaya alei. Now, of course, that initial oh, this is the third person singular on the verb, right? On an imperfect verb. So that's he, right? Yo ale means he is going up or he will go up. But we do have our vav conversive, and that vav conversive is going to change it. If only it was glowing. It's going to change it to be a perfect. So instead of yo ale, he will go up or he is going up, va yo ale means then he went up. Right? We make it a perfect instead. All right. Let's continue. Oops, sorry about that. Who went up? Achav. Then Achav went up. Vaya'ale Achav. Then Achav went up. Le echol. Le is to. Echol, to eat. Went up to eat. Ve and lishtot. Lishtot, to drink. So the verb shata or shate, verbs that end in hey, when you make them into an infinitive, so if that last root letter is hey, you put it in an infinitive and that hey becomes an ot, right? So I'll give you another example of this. So hold on, let's say right. Okay. Let's say the word to see. What's that? Ra'ah. Resh, aleph, hey, right? To see. So that is another lamed hey verb, right? That means the last letter in the three root letters of the verb, most of them have three root letters, is the letter hey. It's a lamed hey, or it ends in a hey. Just like the word shata ends in a hey, to drink. Shin, tav, hey. And if we want to add, well, it's not exactly orange. I'm going to use kind of yellow for this. So in the infinitive form, we usually put a lamed in front of it, right? For the English, to form the English infinitive, to do such and such. Okay. So if I want to do that with si, ra'ah, let's put our lamed. Okay. And then we've got our resh and our aleph. And what happens with that final hey? I'm going to make that guy kind of magenta now so we can track it easily, okay? In the infinitival form, he is going to become a vav. It's actually a chol so o, and a tav. So to see, we read that as lirot. Lirot. The same thing that's happening with velishtot, right? Shata became lishtot. Ra'ah became lir'ot. Okay? Paneh, to turn, lifnot. Pardon me, paneh, turn, lifnot, to turn. Any verb that ends in hey is going to follow this pattern. All right, let's read through the verse one more time. And this time, try to translate before I do. Vaya ra'ale achav. Then Achav went up, lechol, to eat, velishtot, and to drink. I hope my marker was visible there. It's visible on my screen. I'm not sure if it's recording it, so we'll learn together. All right, next slide. Well, next part in the strip, actually, the comic strip. Now, this is the second part of the verse. So this is 1 Kings 18, verse 42. And then we stop with the Nachta, what indicates a semicolon, and we start with 42b. Right? All right, let's read along. Ve'eliyahu ra'ala el rosh hakarmel vayigha artsa vayosem panayv bein birkayv. All right, let's break that apart now. Ve'eliyahu. Then Elijah, or Eliyahu, Allah, Ayin Lamed Hey, he went up, El, Aleph Lamed, unto, for construct, Rosh Hak Carmel. So again, because we have the last word in the construct chain is definite, because of that, the entire chain will inherit that definiteness from the last word. So he's going to impart the word the. Okay. So the Rosh, the head of Hak, the Carmel. So that means Mount Carmel's peak, right? The Rosh Hahak means the head of the mountain, which is how you say the mountain peak in biblical Hebrew. But you can be hyperliteral and think of it as head. I think that's pretty clear. It doesn't take too much creativity to realize what's going on there. So the Eliyahu, Allah. Now Eliyahu, and there's a little bit of emphasis here, actually, right? If you think about it, there's a little bit of emphasis because what's our usual word order in Hebrew? Usually, we have verb followed by subject, right? So in normal prose, when you put the subject first, so here's our subject, that demonstrates some kind of emphasis, usually. So this is our subject, and here's our verb. See, they're out of order, right? It's out of order. So usually, unless it's answering a question or something, this demonstrates some kind of emphasis. For whatever reason. So what we have here is now, the vav now, or then, or and, Eliyahu, Allah, went up. And we're focusing on Eliyahu. Before we were talking about what Achav is doing, right? He went, V'ya'aleh, so he went up, Lechol velishtot, to eat and to drink. Ve'Eliyahu, and Eliyahu, or but Eliyahu, you could even say, Allah went up, El, unto, the Rosh HaKarmel, the head of the Carmel, or the peak of Carmel. I used to live on Mount Carmel, by the way. Pretty cool. And on that mountain, there's actually the cave of Eliyahu. You can go there and see where the cave he hid in for a while. Really cool. Oh boy, folks. I thought I was recording. Seems I had paused to select a color or something, and it wasn't recording again. No, how far back it was. So I'm going to quickly re-explain this again. If it ends up duplicating, well, maybe someone just need to hear it again, okay? But I will pick up the pace a bit here. So what we have here is we've got the Eliyahu comes before the verb, right? Usually it's verb subject. Here it's subject verb. So that's emphasis. It's emphasized. We just heard what Achav did. Now the Eliyahu, la la went up unto Rosh or de Rosh HaKarmel, the head of the Carmel. So the peak of Mount. Vayig ha, and he bent artsa. So that's a halocative. It means like ward, right? He bent eretz ward, landward, groundward. Vayasam, and he placed panaiv. That's his panim. His panim. Bain, between, be'erkaiv. So this is a berech here. Berech is a knee, and since you got two of them, it's usually called be'erkayim, knees, right? So be'erkaiv, his knees. All right, let's go through just to translate before I do. All right, the Eliyahu, the Allah el Rosh HaKarmel. Then Eliyahu went up unto Mount Carmel's peak. Then he bent down Artsah, earthward, groundward, Vayasim, and he placed Panaiv, his face, Bain Birkaiv, between his knees. So exactly, not exactly like it's in the picture here, but you kind of get the idea. All right, so now this is the end of the free sample. Okay, you got a nice solid almost 19 minutes of instruction here. Pretty good today. We will continue now the lesson, the full lesson for my Sha'ar and above members on Patreon. So that's if you want to become a Sha'ar member, that is expensive membership level we've got. Just $10 a month. If you want to support what we're doing here, that's really a great place to start and would be much appreciated. And you'll have access to all these full teachings as well. Not all the teachings, but for example, what we're doing now, you will. All right.